JTrain podcast. It's JTrain, Jared Freid, coming to you live from the West Village of Manhattan. That's right, every Monday we take your emails, your stories, your questions. We answer them as thoroughly and thoughtfully as we can. And I want to thank you. Thank you for telling your friend, a brother, a sister, a mama, a papa, anyone in your life about this wonderful show that we put on every week. And that's the thing. We're here to take your brain, put it on the shelf, listen to other people's problems. We got so many great emails. And if you want to be a part of this show, JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. That's JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Send your dating, relationship, lifestyle, all the stuff that vexes you. I've never used the word vex.
Oh, my God.
New to the word vex. That makes you wonder, am I a dick? Am I being too much? Am I making the right decision? How should I decide what to do? So JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Keep sending them in. And when you tell your friends, it feels so good when you let someone know about this great show. How do you do that? Make your Instagram story, send it to the group chat. If there's a situation here that relates to someone that you were just talking to at the brunch table, send it on over. Be like, hey, skip to minute 12 and go listen to this email. It's just like you. And here's why would you do that? Because when you talk to your friends, you got to look at their faces. They go, well, what should I do? And you're like, well, you should break up with them. And they go, oh, what? And you're like, oh, you don't have to. You could also stay with, see how hard that is here? We don't have to see their faces. We don't have to see the quivering lip. Oh, well, break up and I'll be alone. No. We can do that for you. So keep sending this podcast around. Also, we do a Patreon, patreon.com/Jared Freid. I'm doing 2 extra episodes a week, $5 a month, patreon.com/Jared Freid. I do an extra luxury lounge on Fridays. I answer every luxury lounge complaint. Also, I do Coffee with JTrain. If you're listening right now, there's a new Coffee with JTrain probably up, but last week's was about going to Providence and doing shows for the students at Brown. I'm also on the road. Ooh! And listen, it's the Monday after taping the special. Thank you to everyone who came. Thank you to everyone who came to all the workout shows and getting me ready for that show. I can only assume it went great. I have to live in the land of positivity. I'm sure it went well, so thank you all for coming. If you're listening right now, I'm going to be in San Diego, California, Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Toronto. We added a 4th show, Vegas, Perrysburg, Irvine, California, Oklahoma City. Also adding dates in Europe. That's right. Europe. That's right. I'm an international comedian, so get on that, jaredfreid.com. Very excited for today's guest. First time on the podcast, hilarious comic, Gabby Bryan. Thank you for coming on.
Hey.
Great
I can't
to
believe
have
you're
you.
going to Europe.
We'll see. It's happening. It's all
Where?
happening. I think what I was told is London.
No.
I was told Berlin.
No.
Yeah.
You're going to do anal.
I'm going to do anal. That's again. Where else? Amsterdam.
Okay.
Dublin. So
okay.
Yeah, we're putting together a little European thing. So I'm
Hot
excited.
and sexy.
Yeah, I'm hoping there's it's funny. Someone was like, "How do I email your podcast from Europe?" I was like, "The same way you do it from the fucking United States."
It's a completely different IP address.
Yeah,
so
I don't know what.
It's a Yahoo in Europe.
Yeah, I need. So I'm hoping the European fan base, which I don't know if it exists or not, is hearing these words and starting to, now, here's the thing. I think what we do with a podcast is you go, it's just me alone. No one else listens to this weirdo, and it's
yes.
like, yeah, but tell your friends about the weirdo so I can go to your weirdo place and come to Berlin and do anal and all those things.
You have to go to the big club. What's the big famous club?
What is it? What do
Where
you mean?
everyone fists each other and it's just like a blast.
Really?
It's called something Eisenberg or
Is
something.
Berlin known for this?
Yes.
A
Berlin
sexual awakening in Berlin?
It's a sexual place. You're going to have to wear all latex, no jeans.
I do that on planes anyways. I don't.
Oh, on planes?
Yeah.
All latex or
I
anal?
want to make sure I'm sweating as much as possible for the anal that comes at the end of the flight.
Because you
got to
gotta
lube
prep.
up. Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
You have a podcast called,
podcast.
and speaking of Europe, it's called Le Podcast.
It's called The Podcast.
Ooh.
It is everything French and also nothing French.
What is the premise of the show?
It's me and my best friend, Zach Senior, comedian, gay comedian even.
Okay.
And there's
Very French of you.
Very French in that he's gay and I'm a girl. And that's all that there is
That's all
in
France.
Paris. We just talk about fucking guys and boys, and
Okay, guys and boys.
we give a lot of advice too.
Okay.
It's kind of a self-help podcast by two people who shouldn't be giving it to you at all.
Very nice.
Yes. And we wear berets sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. So what type of, do people write in? Is that how it goes?
No. We give you kind of exercises that you could do at home.
What's an exercise someone can do?
So, okay, you know when your parents get a divorce?
I don't know, but I can
You
imagine.
don't. What the fuck?
Thank goodness. I
Your
didn't have
parents
to
are
go there.
together?
Oh, yeah. If my parents got a divorce, I couldn't do 2 phone calls during the holidays. I'm
stress.
happy I can get it done in one call.
Right.
Talk to them both with one yelling over the shoulder. It's
Mm-hmm.
really, it's like a Band-Aid ripoff. I'm happy to
Right.
just get it over with.
But you get double presents when your parents are divorced. That's the one pause.
Yeah, the double presents thing, there's a moment, I guess that at a moment in life I'd be like, thank goodness, but I never really had that moment where it's like, when are the presents like,
Yeah.
I'm very privileged in the sense that like I was never in a presents family.
Okay.
I do think there's 2 different things. Like I think there's like, if you're good, you get your Christmas gifts.
Right.
And then there's also like, if you need it, go get whatever the fuck you want. So like, I don't know. I don't know which is better, because in my mind, I don't think anything's that special because I've never had like
Deeply sad.
right. So like everything's just like, whatever, go get it. You need a
No.
shirt, go get the shirt.
Right.
But then again, there's also the nice thing of like, oh, I don't need to be gifted into things.
Sure,
like I
yeah.
do what I want.
Wait, you're Jewish.
Yeah.
Do you do Christmas? No. Oh, so you don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Well, we got Hanukkah, we get gifts, and we get birthdays. Jews have birthdays.
Jews do. I
even
am
though-
a Jew.
Yeah.
I'm speaking as if I'm not, but we
Well,
do everything.
You're Jewish?
I'm half-seas.
Half. Which half?
My dad.
Your dad.
Yeah.
So did you get Christmas and Hanukkah?
Yeah.
See, I never liked the Jews that celebrated Christmas. It always felt like a betrayal.
And it is.
Yeah.
But Hanukkah's not fun.
Hanukkah runs out of steam real quick. Hanukkah,
quick.
night 1. Ooh, we're doing this.
I'll
and then
get
night
candles.
Yeah, ooh, we're lighting them. We're doing the prayers. Presents, holy shit, things are happening. And then you get to night 4 and you're like, and your family's like, yeah, we're doing the prayer. And you go, when are the presents coming? And then they're like, yeah, you got one on night 1. You're done. It's over.
And you go, socks?
Yeah, well, no, not even socks. The socks you already wore, they're washed.
We did your fucking laundry.
Yeah, we did your laundry. That's your present.
Yeah, we did Hanukkah, and then it was kind of just always really a buzzkill, and then Christmas was the pop off.
That's the one.
Yeah.
See, they say the Judaism goes through the mother. That's what you are.
Yeah.
But I would say beyond the religious aspect of that, the holidays are through the mother just because the mom does all the work.
Yeah.
So it's like, if mom cares about Christmas, you're getting Christmas.
Exactly.
You'll get a dad Hanukkah, which is like, here's your,
Yeah.
but your can of beans.
And a bucket of gas.
Right.
Celine. Well, my dad, I don't know if you've ever seen a picture of him, but he looks like a woman, so he kind of drives the holiday
Your
spirit.
dad looks like a woman.
Yeah, my dad has long blonde curly hair.
Really?
Yes. So he's actually the one who's pushing the holidays. He's more of the my dad's very much so a mom. My mom very much so a dad. How about that?
I guess that's kind of how it works. I guess, if you think about it, if you want to go genderless in this world that we live in today.
And we have to.
Yeah, and that's the move. You can understand that there's always someone at the forefront, someone in the back, the background. And I guess in traditional, there was like strong dad who doesn't do holidays. And then there's mom like, we're going to have a Christmas.
Yeah.
But I guess it's nice. This is a more, a modern family, so to speak.
Yeah. Listen, my dad wakes up, he brushes his hair, and he says, we're doing Christmas.
Long hair.
Long hair.
What's that like, a dad with long hair?
He kind of looks like a drag queen at times, and that's fun.
Really?
Yeah. He has a lot of product.
Do you discuss product with your dad?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I remember growing up, going into the pharmacy and being like, I need an eyeliner. And my dad would go, get me one too.
Come on.
Swear.
Is your dad, he was getting eyeliner?
Eyeliner.
What did he do?
He's a musician.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes.
So he was like a rocker.
Yes.
Like hairband, I'm assuming.
Yes.
The timing kind of makes sense for that.
Yeah.
Wow. What was that like?
It was funny. That's why I'm a comedian.
Right. What does he think about you going into comedy?
Oh, he loves it. Oh, he fucking loves it.
They say musicians want to be comedians, comedians want to be musicians.
It's true. My dad has some crazy stories about doing drugs with Sam Kinison, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
And what was that like?
He doesn't really remember.
Does he
honestly.
say to you, does he like think like, because are you a drug user? Are you a drinker?
Yes.
You're a drinker. But does he like hear your stories and he's like, what the fuck is that?
He's like you're a bitch.
Right,
honestly.
right.
You're a little bit. I did meth.
Right. And because like the thing is, you hear about comedy, you know, the Sam Kinison days, the 80s, so to speak, you know, the way they lived their life was just not how you see it happening. Today there's business people doing comedy.
Right.
You know, like
no, it was completely different.
Right.
They would like do a bunch of coke and then he would go do an hour. And my dad would be like, I couldn't even speak.
Right. Coke would help an hour, I guess, but you know.
I guess, but your pacing would be like, da, 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 da.
That's what he did.
Yeah.
You know, if you think about it.
Well,
so
that's
the
true.
podcast you give, what would be a process that someone, are you talking affirmations here?
Kind of. Okay, so back to the divorce. If we could even bring it back then. You're a divorce. Your parents are getting a divorce. You're a child. You go to a child therapist. I don't know if you ever experienced that. As a Jew, you might have. No. Okay. And they kind of take you through.
We want all natural, raw dog this childhood. They kind of take you through like brain exercises that get to the root. Okay.
So we do a thing called Inside of Your Brain, and you have to like picture the door inside of your brain. You go through it, you tell us what that looks like, and then we try to figure out what that means about your psychology.
Okay. So you're doing kind of like
id.
Id?
Yeah.
What's id?
Like id, like your subconscious.
Is your co-host also, you know, this sounds like how rich
qualified.
kids went to therapy and then they were like over therapized and I don't even know if that's the word. And now you're like giving like a version of that going,
Yes.
I heard this once. You should try it.
Yes.
Yeah.
We went to theater school, so it's getting real zany.
Oh yeah. So this is like watching a trainer giving a class outside and then taking it from afar.
Yes.
Is what your
Behind
listeners are getting. Yeah. Like in Bridesmaids. Like they're like trying to get all the moves from the class. So everyone go listen to the podcast.
Please.
Go get your affirmations.
It'll make
go
you feel
get your Monday morning therapist.
Yes.
So to speak, from Gabby Bryan and her co-host. Go follow Gabby, hilarious comic, at Gabby is Bryan. Go follow, get involved. I'll have it all over my social media. Let's do some emails. You ready?
Hell yeah. Let's go.
JTrainPodcast@gmail.com if you want to send it in. I don't know. There's a weird way to title it. He publicly tweets OnlyFans models on Twitter.
Okay.
Jared, I love your show. It gets me through the tough days. I'm addicted. I met a guy on Bumble while traveling in the UK. I'm 38. He's 45. Let's call him Andy. We hit it off, had a second date, slept together. Spent the night talking and cuddling. We did not discuss keeping in touch or visiting each other after my trip, but he's been messaging me every so often since I got back and has been pretty flirtatious. I was pretty giddy when I got back from my trip, but realistic. When I came across his open Twitter account, which has his full name on it and a recent headshot of him in full view of his profile, every single like and tweet reply was to an OnlyFans model, ages ranging 19 to 48. Or not necessarily OnlyFans, but various women who post nudes on Twitter, close-ups of their cleavage, or even videos of them masturbating. There's not only public likes, but also comments on them as though he knows the woman posting them. About 90% of his followers on Twitter are random OnlyFans models trying to gain a following, and likewise, the majority of the accounts he follows are these nude women. I don't mean to seem like I'm stalking him daily, but I've noticed that he comments and likes these videos almost every day. Does he not care about his public image? He has a senior position at a firm and has a professional reputation. His Twitter account and profile pic and handle are the first things that come up in a Google search. Someone could easily search him and find his daily comments to these women on Twitter. Not that we're dating. We hooked up on my trip, and I'm not jealous, but I'm actually kind of concerned. I've been interested in this guy and considered visiting him again. It's come up in conversations, but now I'm wondering what would cause or compel a man to like and comment on these pics and videos daily? He's smart, charming, charismatic, and attractive/handsome. I find it weird. Now I'm wondering, is there something wrong with my ability to meet a normal, decent dude? He seemed so cool and all together when we met. I was surprised to find this not so secret Twitter situation. Maybe he can join a private forum/site to do this, or is this problematic and a sign he's depressed and lonely? Should I broach the topic to him gently and urge him to at least change the profile pic/name, make his account private? Thanks. I liked him, but this may be a deal breaker. What do you think, Gabby Bryan?
This feels like a classic case of you dating someone in their 40s, and they don't know that their profile isn't private.
I you know what? I thought about that, and I can't imagine that to be the case. I can't imagine him being that stupid. Like, I do think, like, my dad isn't responding to OnlyFans people, I hope. But I've had my dad respond and like to people that have responded to me on Twitter. Mm-hmm. And he's like, the egg, like he's got like, but it's his full name.
Yeah.
And he's right above this age, he's 20 years above this age. So like, he kind of gets it, doesn't get it, knows he's public, doesn't realize you could be searched. Mm-hmm. I think 48, I don't know. It would have to be really dumb to be a senior position, but people have done dumber.
48 is not 42. 42, I feel like 42 knows. 48, that's 50. I uploaded everything to Twitter because it asked for a picture and it asked for my full name.
And then you kind of forget about how you uploaded those things. I mean, that is the most empathetic way to look at that. That's the most kind way.
Sure.
There's another thing where, like, when I read this, I go, well, how does he rationalize this? Uh-huh. Like, everyone writes the movie where they're not an evil person, where they're not creepy. Mm-hmm. I don't think that if you were like, hey, I came across your Twitter, and you were like, and then I don't think he's like, yeah, no, I use it to really get in touch with the women I masturbate to.
Yeah, like, that's what I do.
Right. It would be weird if that was the case. If he did openly admit that, I would be more curious than anything else. Like, I'd be like, well, tell me more about this. Why are you so free and everyone else is so worried about how they're perceived or how people see them? You seem to be a professional person. I would also wonder if the story I was told by him was true.
What story?
That he has a professional life and that he's a senior account manager. It just doesn't seem like whatever job that he has, you go, how could someone be so aware in person? And what they're doing, it's funny at the end of her email, she's like, is there something wrong? There must be something wrong with me.
And no, by the way.
I don't think so at all.
And first of all, you could stalk him every day if you want to. She mentioned this in her blurb that I don't know if it's weird if I stalk him every day. Stalk him every day. Look him up. That's fine. Be a girl. You're a girl.
Well, it's also totally normal to have this romp and rendezvous, and then you go, who is this guy? All of us have this like online persona, regular persona. I think for the most part, our online personas are a little bit of a lie. Mm-hmm. There's Instagram versus reality. Most of our online personas paint ourselves in the best of pictures. That's why you hear this and you go, what does this guy know that I don't?
Yeah.
How is this guy so
free?
Free. I think of him as free, even though what he's doing is like weird and off-putting. I agree with like the off-putting nature of it because it's like your message. You're in your 40s. You're like also,
DM. Also, why is it public?
He knows enough to how to follow a 19-year-old OnlyFans, how to find them, how to get followed by them. To me, like, you can't be so smart in one way and so dumb in the other way.
But you can. But you really can.
I also think that this guy, like, this guy is obviously, like, I think there's something he's not really telling you.
Sure. And another layer to this is the fact that he's British. And I've dated about 45 British guys. 45 ultimately. And I will say that they always seem like they're together because they have an accent that is classy in its own way.
Right. He's like, jolly ho, and he's like,
all right, I got a job and I got this, and you're like, wow, he's great. So together. He has a queen or a king now, And I think
he wears plaids. He's got the jacket with the elbow pads, and you're like, oh, he looks like a professor.
Yes.
And then you come to find out he's just a creepy dude like everyone else.
Creepy dude, and he's 48, and how old did she say she was? 30 something?
38, late 30s. I mean, like, I understand. It has got to be exciting. I betted this guy. He's texting me now. But here's the other thing. What it does, and I totally understand, like, the turnoff angle of this is like, oh, now these nice things he's messaging me. He also messages someone that he may or may not pay. Also, he messages someone that he's like openly just attracted to all these women.
Yeah.
And it just takes the shine off of it.
Yes. And be attracted, but I don't want to know someone's, porn searches. I don't want to know who else in this world you're attracted to, unless it's like Angelina Jolie.
Right. Well, there's appropriate and classy versions of this, and there's not. Listen, if you want to be doing an OnlyFans, I think there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I could understand why finding out about someone's OnlyFans, we've had people write in the past where they go, I don't know what to feel about this. I think I'm a liberal person who supports sex workers or wants people to be paid for what they put out in the universe, and then they find out, well, your husband is a OnlyFans supporter of Jenny 69, and then they go, well, Jenny 69 only has 1,000 supporters, and it's like, yeah, he's in at the ground level. Good for him.
He's investing in a business.
Yeah, he's being supportive. Isn't that what you want? And then they go, well, not this way. And I understand the taste of it ain't so great. I can understand how, listen, we want to be supportive, then you get to the point where you're supposed to be supportive and you're not as supportive as you like to be.
Right.
What I would say to this, would you say something?
I would say, hey, did you know your Twitter is public?
Right, I would too.
And then
I need more, especially from someone that you've had you've 2 dates,
vacation hookup.
You're seeing if you want to like make this
work,
keep going,
but also you could never see him again, so you kind of can say whatever you want,
right?
You know what I mean? You could be like, hey, leave it open-ended and just see what he says.
It's totally okay to go, here's the thing, you can feel like you escaped. Like you had a good time, you had your romp,
it was fun in the moment
and fun and a vacation, and now you go to say, hey, would I go back again? My dad has said this his whole life, my whole life. He's like, you can never fuck a dude who has an OnlyFans. No, I'm kidding. My dad.
I was like, okay, is your dad my dad?
Yeah, my dad my whole life would say you can never repeat. So that was like always like a thing.
What do you mean?
So if you go on vacation, you go, that vacation was the most fun ever. We got to go back.
Right.
He goes, it's never going to be as good as the first time. It's never going to be as off the cuff as the first time. It's never going to be as romantic. It's never going to be as wild and fun and British and whatever it is. This is the moment where you realize life doesn't repeat. You can never go back to the moment where you met this guy in a bar and you were in Europe and you had this fun sexual thing. You can't go back to that. Now you've seen the Twitter account. Now you've seen...
You can't unsee.
You can't unsee.
And also, there is something so sexy about a man who has no social media. Like that's the hope. You meet a 48-year-old guy and you go, please, for the love of God, don't be online, because you don't have to be.
Right.
And then you find out they are. And that, even before the OnlyFans, you're like, oh God, he has a public Twitter.
With a headshot.
Right.
New enough to upload the headshot, a new one.
Yeah.
Doesn't know enough that these are public. I think he knows.
You think he knows? I think it's more demonic.
To me, she has to be okay with resetting the next hookup if it ever happens again.
Right.
You have to go in under new circumstances with the things you've seen. So this can still be hot and steamy and sexy, but I would want to know, who is this person? You have to go in. You're never going to have the first time again. You're never going to repeat, just like I just said. So I would say to this guy, so what you said is right. This may be one and done. It's over.
Yeah.
But if you want to see what the deal is, I think it's okay to be curious. Hey, I just Googled your name because, I don't know, I was thinking about you.
You could be a murderer. Make it a joke.
Right. Make it a joke. I was thinking about you. I was a little wet today thinking about you. And I wanted more info. And then I found your Twitter. What's going on there? Just open-ended. What's going on there?
So what's happening?
The best case scenario, I was hacked.
Yes. Oh, that would be a relief. You will rest easy that night. I was hacked.
JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Here with Gabby Bryan. @Gabby is Bryan. La Podcast is the podcast. 'Tis the season for clean balls. Manscaped is the one-stop shop for all your holiday needs. Their shampoos, body washes, upstairs and downstairs deodorants, gels, and exfoliants cover absolutely everything needed to keep you clean. Dad have those nasty nose hairs? Save his life with the Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer. The Shears 2.0, their full kit for nail care, with scissors, clippers, tweezers, and file are great for any guy on the go. Top off the stocking with the crown jewel for their family jewels. The Lawnmower 4.0, the electric razor's advanced skin-safe technology, is a life changer that reduces nicks and cuts on his Santa sack. Manscaped is here to make the holiday shopping a blast by giving products they'll love and make them laugh. Here's the thing. Great gift. Great way to bring your man into the self-care world. It's got a little jokiness to it, but it also has great products. The whole kit is a giftable set. It's great to go under the tree because you wrap it up. It'll look like it's something big and wonderful, and then it is. It's just a bunch of great products. So you can get 20% off and free shipping with code JTrain at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code JTrain at manscaped.com. Manscaped for a perfect gift that will be the holidays' biggest hit. I agree with that. It'll be good. Is it reasonable to break it off with someone if they've revealed they have herpes?
Oh.
Hey guys, huge fan. I'm in desperate need of some perspective on my relationship right now. I've been back together with my ex for about a month now, and things have been moving pretty fast. We were together for almost a year, but it was a pretty toxic relationship, and he ended up leaving back in May. We've been back together for just over a month, and the relationship is seemingly healthier, but I still have my reservations. He was pretty insistent on moving in together since that's what we were planning to do before he broke up with me. He's now in the process of moving in with me. However, this past weekend, he dropped a bomb and confessed he has gotten oral herpes, HSV-1, while we were broken up. I got tested before we got back together, so I know I didn't have it, but I'm going to get tested tomorrow to see if he passed it on to me. I'm having a really hard time figuring out what to do. If I don't have herpes, I don't know if I'm willing to get herpes by staying in the relationship. I love him, but I'd be lying if I said I was 100% certain we could make things work this time around, even without the monkey wrench of herpes entering our relationship. He said if it was the other way around, he wouldn't even question getting herpes for me. Am I wrong for questioning whether or not this relationship is worth getting herpes over? Appreciate any advice you guys may have. What do you think?
Oh, we're talking stigmas, baby.
Right.
We're getting into stigmas. First of all, before we even get to herpes, moving in together. That feels like the bomb for me.
Right.
You just got back together and you're moving in together. I would maybe.
Well, on that note, getting back together doesn't mean you start where you left off.
Exactly.
And it seems like that's kind of where they're at. They're like,
yes.
He freaked out, broke up with her. They break up for, I think she said a month.
Okay.
Month.
That's not long.
No, it's not long, which is actually part of the problem.
Yeah. So he went around.
We were together almost a year, but it was pretty toxic. We ended up leaving back in May. We've been back together for just over a month.
Okay.
So they've been back together for just over a month. So they got let's call it this timeline that we're living in right now. Mm-hmm. December, they broke up in May. So he takes the summer off, and now they've been together since November, maybe October.
Sure.
So it's like, and at no point did he reveal until they were moving back in that he has herpes. I agree with you. It's first of all, you ended a move in. You don't go straight to move in. You have to
you reset.
And not reset as like, oh, we're going to go for drinks and do a first date. But reset is like, how are we going to work this out? Like it's funny you brought up therapy in the beginning.
It is funny.
Well, because this is like they're doing therapy on their own.
Yeah.
Like they are at level 10 of like relationship counsel need. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, we'll figure it out. We'll just move in. They've skipped all of that. And it's probably because they're young. And I get that. And you think, well, we'll figure things out. But this is like a mess.
This is a mess. This is a big, big mess. I have also rushed into moving in with people, and I get it. You get a little overzealous. You go, and rent will be cheaper. Let's move in together. Once you move in together, think about the move out process.
Right.
Don't forget that part. If you break up, there is going to have to be a long and horrible move out process.
Yeah,
Keep that in mind.
I went through that. I mean, having moved in with someone, then it ended and having to move out. I wouldn't move in with someone unless I was totally sure that this
Positive.
was unless I was sprinting towards moving in.
Right.
That would be my advice from someone who went through that. And if I was to do again, I would be sprinting towards, not like, we'll see how it works out once we move. No. That's advice number one. The other thing, this ain't about herpes.
Nope.
This isn't about herpes at all. Like, listen, can a couple exist when one person has herpes? Yeah, of course.
Yes, there's medication.
Not the biggest deal in the world. Go, Erica Spera is a hilarious comic who's been on this show, talks about it very openly. To the point, she went on an episode of, you go look at the episode of You Up where she talked about it. Eased my apprehension about herpes. Like, and
there's medication.
It's all good.
It's good. What's happening now is he is saying, I want to commit to you, and you're saying, I don't know if it's worth it.
Right. And I can understand that they're like, is my reason, do I sound frivolous? No. Think about how this happened. This person broke up with you, then went out in the summer, contracted something.
Yeah.
So he was out there hooking up, not really being safe, but got oral. I don't know if I'm safer than the next person.
I mean, you could get it. You get it if you get it.
I can understand it happens, but still, and then runs back to you again, doesn't tell you this, and then brings it up once he says, and then says, well, I'd get herpes for you if... No.
Manipulation.
It's a very manipulative thing.
And he waited till he's already... The move-in process is happening. So that's...
Right.
We're talking traps.
This is all manipulation.
Yeah.
So it has nothing to do with the herpes is the right hand, distracting you. The left hand is this person who hasn't really learned their lesson, is seeing you as is going, oh my God, I know exactly what happened to this guy. Yeah. This guy broke up. He didn't want to move in. He wasn't sure about this relationship, broke up, goes out, goes on Tinder, Hinge, all the apps, hooks up all summer, contracts herpes, finds this out, freaks out a little bit, goes, I need to calm down my life.
Yeah.
So then he goes to the one constant he have, you, who's been there for him,
Woo!
who was looking to move in, and now you're sitting there going, and then he goes, I can't I got to get her in before I can give her this information to let her know that I'm a different person than how I left it. So I don't trust this person. It's not about herpes at all.
No, it's about trust. It's, I would run for the hills. I would say, hey, we need to slow down. Moving in is not a good idea. And let's go on dates. Let's have our own space. You need to kind of get back your zhuzh to want to date him.
Right.
You don't even know if you're in.
Right. He's got to work for it. Saying,
make him sweat for it.
Saying I made a mistake and saying, I would get herpes for you, like it's some sort of like Romeo and Juliet thing. No. That's not like things he's doing. I would say to this person, the fact that he's in the process of moving in, he's moving in a couch. He's like, and by the way, honey, I have herpes. Like, what?
And if you don't get it, then you don't love me.
Right.
I don't trust him for
none
one
of this. This all
second.
sounds very manipulative. And if I'm this person, what you said is right. I think you got to readjust. If you stay in it, let's take a step back and readjust.
Yeah.
Hey, and it's going to be hard. You got to say, hey, we're not moving in. Get your stuff out. I need separation, and I need to see work from you to want to make this a real relationship.
Yes.
Until then, because I think she would feel better if he was working on. I can't even encourage this person to go back to him. I think this is over.
I think you should break up. But also, and that's because it sounds like from these few paragraphs that you're not all in.
Right.
You can't live with someone you're not all in with, and you need to sit back by yourself and reconsider if you even want him back.
It was a toxic relationship before. She said that in her email, then gets back together, and she's like, with him, he's in the, and then says a very big detail.
Girl.
Yeah.
Girl.
After being physical with you, and now you got to go test it again.
Yeah, also that he just put an errand on your list. How disrespectful is that?
You got to end this one. JTrain podcast at gmail.com. JTrain podcast at gmail.com. Here with Gabby Bryan. Go follow at Gabby is Bryan. La Podcast is the podcast. $400 wedding gift as a +1. Are you in a relationship? Are you seeing anyone?
I'm single, but I'm fucking my ex.
Okay. So you relate to the last person?
Yeah.
Why back to the ex?
Because it's so goddamn easy. He lives on my street.
It's easy.
I've been doing the round. I broke up with my ex, and then I do this thing where I go fuck all my exes to see if I was right, and then I go, I was right. And then,
So, I mean, the person from the last email should hear you say they're going back to that ex because it's easy. They're not going back because they like them.
It's convenient.
And convenient How? I guess because you know each other's bodies sexually. That's one part of it. You know each other's emotions, so that's part of it. You know where you feel comforted by them, where you feel where they comfort you. Yeah.
And there's different kinds of breakups, right? Sometimes you feel really slutty afterwards. Sometimes you feel asexual, and then I was experiencing the asexuality, and then it was just.
Like towards new people, where like you were trying to get back out there and you're like, it's not working.
Sit down at a date and you go, do you have siblings? Like, oh, we have to do this again?
Right. That's not your type of date.
No.
And
the effort. I wasn't willing to put the effort in. I met him at a music festival when I was on mushrooms.
Music festival of mushrooms. So
yeah. He's English.
Okay. There we go. So he seemed put together. He's like, these mushrooms are dandy. And like, oh my God.
By golly. I love these mushrooms.
Jared, I've run into an issue that I need your guidance on. My boyfriend and I have been dating for 3 years and was invited to his cousin's wedding in New York for New Year's Eve. FYI, my boyfriend and I live in the South. Since we don't live in New York, I've only spent limited time with his extended family when visiting for short trips. Dating 3 years, limited time. Okay. We are now about 2 months away from the wedding, and we have just been informed by my boyfriend's mother that we are expected to purchase the bride and groom a $400 gift minimum. I was immediately blindsided because I wasn't prepared to contribute an amount that steep, especially for a family that I'm not officially a part of. Ooh. Ooh. I was under the impression that my boyfriend's parents were responsible for that and he and I would chip in a decent amount. It seems as though that is not the case and we are expected to do our own thing. Am I crazy for being angry about this? I don't go to many weddings, so this is a normal is this a normal standard amount, or is my boyfriend's mom trying to keep up with the Joneses? Mind you, I don't know where exactly she's getting this $400 minimum from. It's not on the invite, and she wasn't told about this minimum by family, so I'm really confused, and so is my boyfriend. I understand weddings are expensive, and I appreciate being included, but I don't think I'm responsible for splitting a gift with that type of price tag for my boyfriend's cousin. I'm not even sure if I would spend that much for my own cousin's wedding. My boyfriend and I are not engaged, and he's not very close with his cousins in general, considering he moved out of New York when he was just 10 years old. So what are your thoughts about the +1 etiquette in relation to this gift? I want to do the right thing, but I am also not made of money. I always appreciate it. Sincerely, the broke +1. What do we think?
Don't you fucking dare buy that gift. That is, first of all, it's not you as a girlfriend.
Right.
That is not even on you at all. If anything, your boyfriend has to bite the bullet and buy it.
Your presence is your present.
Yeah.
As a +1, you are doing a favor. You are a piece of jewelry.
Yeah.
Being worn by the person bringing you, and you are arm candy. And you're expected to be pleasant. You're expected to be fun. You're expected to not get too drunk, not get too wild. Be a fun person at a wedding, adding to the general aura of a wedding.
Yep.
That is your responsibility as a +1. The gift, no fucking way.
No fucking
not a dime.
way.
I would look at first of all, it's your boyfriend that you should need to talk to, not
and you're
the mom.
dropping little Easter eggs in here about how you don't feel so committed about the boyfriend. I don't know if you caught those.
I caught them, and it's funny it's very female to use that as like, they're 3 years in, and she says, this sentence made me chuckle a little bit. I wasn't prepared to contribute that amount that's steep, especially for a family that I'm not officially a part of.
Oh, fuck.
That is code for like, ahem.
No ring.
Ahem. I'm not doing this for someone I have no commitment from.
Yes.
So, and then she says, she even brought it up again. My boyfriend and I are not engaged, and he's not very close. When you mention the non-engagement, I get it. You're trying to gain us as your teammates in this argument.
Yeah.
Engaged or no engaged, you're a +1. You are it's not your name's on the invite. It's so-and-so +1.
Right.
If your name's not on the invite, you ain't adding to the gift.
It's not like it's his sister.
No, well,
it's
that's the big
cousin.
When she says keeping up with the Joneses, that's what's going on.
Yeah.
You're entering a family where there's issues.
There's issues.
The mom, her and her sibling are in competition with each other.
It's about money. It's about prestige.
Right. And they want to look good against the backdrop of the sibling, whatever that is, brother or sister, whatever it is. I'm assuming the grandparents are still alive.
Yeah.
Because the grandparents will get reports on what people gave and if everyone was appropriate and who gave what and who did the right thing, who did the wrong thing. This is a measuring contest. You are entering into it. It is really the responsibility of the boyfriend to lead you through the maze, the haunted house that is his family.
Yes.
And right now he's not doing it. She's writing in here.
Yeah.
$400, you shouldn't even hear about that.
You shouldn't even know that a gift has your name on it.
Right.
You shouldn't even fucking know.
What does she do?
I think you say, listen, honey, this is to your boyfriend. If you don't fucking propose soon, no. I think you should be like, I don't think this is my responsibility.
Right.
I will help you pick something out, but I don't think financially it's appropriate for me to contribute.
Also, there's a registry. The idea that you have to spend $400, like the dollar amount is insane.
That's made up.
It's made up. It is a thing. They're hoping that the cousins do $300 gifts and you do $400. You are entering into a competition you had nothing to do with. And you can go to the registry. That's the other thing that blows this whole thing up. You can go to the registry, get the $50 gift, and be like, that's something they asked for. That's done. It's over.
Get him a cup. Get him a goddamn mug.
So that's how we both know that this is bullshit.
Yeah.
The reality is I would go to my boyfriend and be like, hey, and also when you're brought on the wedding, and again, if you can't afford it, don't do it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying everyone should do this.
Yeah.
I'm not saying everyone needs to bring the girlfriend or the boyfriend, needs to ante up $400. I'm saying you can say to someone, hey, I'm not going to bring you because I don't have the money to like bring you. And then they can go, well, I would love to come. I'm going to pay for my own hotel room. Okay, I feel comfortable with that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That's a different conversation. This is you going to them and going, hey, I've been thinking about this. I really can't understand how I'm responsible to give a gift to your cousin. I'm happy to come with you. And don't make it about the engagement. I think that's a mistake.
No.
Because when she writes in the email, all it sounds like is you finding, and this is not fair, but it sounds like you trying to angle at ways to get into the conversation about why you haven't proposed yet.
Right, sure.
Right.
Sure, but this is a good opportunity.
I'm not even a part of this family.
Well, maybe once I actually have the last name.
Right.
I think, but this is an opportunity for you to do some digging into a family that maybe you want to be a part of it, maybe you don't. Maybe you don't.
And it might be, you might look at this and go, oh my God, I don't need this shit.
Yeah.
And well, I would just say to this guy, hey, what are we doing about this gift? I would start with that. How do you feel about this gift situation?
Yeah.
Let him talk. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about this gift? He's going to go, yeah, I don't know. $400 is really expensive. And it's like, do you feel that I should be paying for the gift?
Yeah.
I would say that.
Yeah.
Do you feel that I should be paying for the gift? Well, I don't know, because I'm going to tell you how I would do this.
Mm-hmm. If this were my cousin, I would go to the registry. I'd pick something out and I would get it and write a nice note and I'd put your name on it. And I wouldn't get anything that I couldn't afford. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And don't make it about my parents would help. Don't do that because you don't want to put any like opinion on his parents.
Yeah,
you want to say, I would do this. I would, go to this gift and then let him talk.
Yeah.
Why do you disagree with this? It's okay to disagree, but why? How do you feel differently here?
Yeah. Because maybe he absolutely agrees with you. You just haven't had a good conversation about it.
And also, men don't know how to speak to their moms and disagree with their moms.
Famously, especially if it's one of these families that it's all about position and power.
Right.
Yeah, maybe he's scared of his mom.
He absolutely is. He's scared of going, hey, I don't give a fuck what the cousins think of us.
Yeah.
And she's going, we need a $400 gift because then grandpapa will know that we are the good family. And it's like, no. JTrain podcast at gmail.com. JTrain podcast at gmail.com. We're sponsored. Give your home a holiday refresh in time for the yearly family visit. Oh, this is for a family that is worried what people think of them. Brooklinen makes holiday hosting so easy you may be tempted to do it again next year. They've got everything you need to outfit your guest room. Grab a great gift or treat yourself to something cozy. I'm a huge Brooklinen fan.
Me too.
My bed is right there, covered in Brooklinen. Beautiful, nice, professional, good, comfy, cozy. Here's the thing about Brooklinen. It started when they were on podcasts. They were advertising on podcasts. When I get advertisers here, I'm like, okay, this is like what the kids are doing these days. My mom now asks me for Brooklinen. My mom, it is made it. It is quality stuff. It's always been quality, but to make it into Momland USA,
you got to be good.
You got to be good.
I have all the towels.
They're great. I have the towels.
I'm obsessed with the towels.
Brooklinen's luxurious home essentials feels as good as they look and offer something for everyone. With an expanded collection of home fragrance, the coziest robes, and all the bathroom essentials to make an oasis right at home, Brooklinen makes something for everyone on your list. That's the thing. My bed looks like a hotel bed.
Genuinely.
Like, it's like, it looks right. Save time and money with holiday bundles. Your holiday hosting prep has never been simpler. On top of all the coziness on the horizon, Brooklinen is offering something extra special for first-time customers. Visit brooklinen.com today and save 15% off your first purchase and free shipping. That's BROOKLINEN.com for 15% off on your first purchase and free shipping. Orgasmlessville.
Oh, shit.
Jared, Feather, thank you for all you do. You're the highlight of my commute every week. Well, thank you. I'll get right to it. I've been dating a man for just over a year. We don't live together, but see each other nearly every day and have sex at pretty much every meeting. However, he's the first partner in my life who orgasms less than half the time we fool around. He has no problem getting aroused and tries to come to the point of physically hurting me. I try to never make a big deal of it, and he assures me that it has nothing to do with me. But it's taking a toll and making sex more stressful and painful more stressful and painful than fun recently. All of the normal culprits of this that I've heard of, alcohol, antidepressants, stress, don't seem to be rational because in our causes in our situation. Our relationship is good, but I just want to feel like I can make my man climax and not get super sore in the process. Is this normal? What does it mean? For reference, I'm 27, he's 36. Help, drying up in Denver. What do you think? I feel for her.
The painful point. No.
So the painful thing,
you're getting fucked to death is what I'm hearing.
Right. And listen, we hope this sounds it's in the land of consent and it feels like the painful thing is a product of two people who are trying really hard.
Yeah.
Right. But he's not really taking her into account.
Sure. And I don't think men truly understand how when sex goes a little bit too long, it does truly start to hurt.
Okay.
Your vagina walls.
Right.
And they don't know that unless you tell them. Okay? This is a conversation of communication.
Yeah.
You need to be clear about when you're like, hey, seems like you're not wrapping up anytime soon, but I physically have to.
Right. And it's funny. Like, it's interesting. This email's like, it's interesting because she writes, she's doing this for him. Mm-hmm. And I think the service of him is holding both of them back.
Yes.
Because she writes, our relationship is good, but I want to feel like I can make my man climax. Okay. But right now they're trying to walk through a room with the lights off because it sounds like they're not talking about the things that need to be talked about.
Yes.
So you're right. The communication thing seems off. It seems like she was like, oh, I want to make you come. And he's going, oh, no, it's not about you. And then they stop talking.
Yeah.
Because, okay, at least it's not about me. And he'll just get off the way. You need to be a tag team. You need to work together. This coming is a group project.
Yeah.
This needs to be two people holding hands, walking down the cum road of life.
The cum road of life.
I think that goes for both sides.
I wonder if you're coming. Is there any mention of that? I would assume.
That's the thing. She's left her feelings off the table to make sure that he gets off. And it's like, I think you need to, first of all, she needs to let him know this is hurting me.
Yes. First and foremost, you don't need to walk with a limp the next day. It's not, if it starts affecting your day-to-day life.
No, we don't need Peg Leg Pete walking around.
No.
Just like, what's wrong with you? Tough day at the office. Like,
my boyfriend fucked me for 45 hours yesterday.
And it's stressful. And I think it's almost interesting to me because you say all these causes, antidepressants, stress, don't seem to be rational. I don't know what the issue is. I'm not a doctor. Those are all reasons you hear before. I think, you know how a lot of women are like, you gotta like, foreplay. You enjoy foreplay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, men like foreplay, but then there's a point where like, okay, no,
let's go.
Let's move it on.
Yeah.
But that's why the men skip foreplay a lot. They don't think of it for themselves. Women like foreplay. Women, kiss of the neck, touching the, the butts and things of those natures.
The butts.
Yeah.
Don't forget the butts. Maybe, speaking of the butts, maybe you need to put a finger in his butt.
This is kind of what I'm getting at. I think he needs foreplay.
Yeah.
I think you have to let him know. I think you guys have to work together to do some off-sex items.
Yes.
That lead you to the sex item. And I think you have to, we got to talk. You two have to have a conversation.
You have to first, it looks like you're doing some spy work, trying to figure out if he's on antidepressants, if he's trying to figure out all these things. You need to straight up ask him, how can I help you come? How can I help you?
Right. And also, while saying that, I'm having issues.
Yes.
You have to let him know, this isn't working for me.
How do we come?
And she needs to trust what he says. It's not about you. It isn't about you.
No.
And I think that's where this kind of comes from. I think, from the guy side, if you don't come, it's like, what have I done? I've raised a child wrong. It becomes the woman's cross to bear. And it's like, no, this happens. Men can't come sometimes. They get hard. They're having a good time. Just like in the same way, a lot of women say, I'm having a good time. I just can't. This ain't going to be it for me.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
That's okay. I think what she's doing is she's so
intensely
focused on cum that she's forgetting, let's just have fun with this.
Yeah.
And hopefully the cum comes. But I think
the cum comes.
Yeah, the rat-tat-tat on the cum. Okay?
Episode title.
Right. So I just think if she got together, I think what they need to do, here's what I would do if I were her. Let's have a naked cuddle.
Okay.
Naked cuddle.
Yeah.
Touching skin to skin. Like he's
erotic.
Right. Like he's your baby. Okay? You're holding him against your nape. You start whispering things into his ear. Admitting things that you'd like.
I one time killed a man in South America.
That. Yeah.
Things that are sexy but dangerous.
Sexy. Start admitting, get vulnerable with him.
Yeah.
And you give vulnerable, get vulnerable. So I'd be whispering things. I've been thinking about this. And this conversation, skin to skin, I think is a good opportunity to go, sometimes we go a little long. I want to do some other things. Mm-hmm. So you give the hard info and then you press them with a hug. Sometimes we go a little long and it's starting to hurt me. Can we try some other things?
Yeah.
Hug them in.
Bring them in.
Right? But I think this is all communication based. I think there's a foreplay route that could help it, finger in the butt, all that good stuff, bringing toys in.
Maybe try having sex less. Get a little pent up. If you're having sex every single day,
right?
They're like, don't you want to get a little, I miss you. I miss your body, maybe prolong.
And this is the thing with this, I'm making an assumption here, but when you're with a guy who thrusts with power to get the cum out of him, it's very male.
Yeah.
It's very not emotional. It feels very, transactional. So the idea that he's like, I gotta get to the end of this road is just not very artsy.
Yeah, truly. Right? Yeah. It's not very liberal arts of you.
Right.
I think you need to enjoy the journey. Maybe.
Right. Enjoy the journey. Dance in the streets a little bit.
Yes.
And I think you're not. I think that's somewhere you can talk with him about. That might be easier to talk about. Hey, we need to we're doing too much.
Too quick.
Too much hips. Not enough,
jazz.
Jazz, right.
Make it jazz. Get in the shower. Make out for a while naked before you even.
Hey, let's slow it down today. Let's do all sides, no entree.
Sometimes family style.
Right. All sides, no entree night. So you go all sides. We're going to, would you want to do an all other stuff, no penetration night? Now you can start getting creative together. Mm-hmm. JTrain podcast at gmail.com. JTrain podcast at gmail.com. Here with Gabby Bryan at Gabby is Bryan on Instagram. Go follow the podcast. This is the podcast. Boob question.
Hell yeah.
Dear JTrain, thanks for all you do. Let's get right to it. A few months ago, I had a mastectomy on both boobs to prevent breast cancer because of a genetic mutation like Angelina Jolie. PSA, common in Ashkenazi Jews. I did get breast implants, but because of the surgery, my boobs do not look like regular implants, and it will definitely be obvious to anyone who sees or touches them. Also, I have no sensation in my boobs or nipples. How and when do I bring this up to someone I'm casually dating? If I wait until we're hooking up, will this ruin the mood? I want to explain the mastectomy so it doesn't seem like I just have a really bad boob job. But when would I bring it up? If I mention it too early, do you think men would fetishize it or want to hook up just so they could see it? Please help. Sincerely, a non-Persian Jew with 10 to lose. What do you think?
I think you need to take this one right off the bat.
I think the idea of a guy fetishizing, first of all, there's men out there with fetishes for everything. So I can't tell you that's not going to exist. But that seems like a stretch for me. The idea that like you are across the table from someone and you're like, I had a double mastectomy, and the guy's like, go on.
Oh, mama.
Yeah, like,
oh, yeah. That feels.
Ooh.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Oh, and because of the mastectomy, the boob job is a little different. It might look a little different. Oh, yeah, keep going.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, and I'm not saying you don't look great. I'm just saying like to go down that road, you would have to notice that this guy's a weird dude.
That man would be a sociopath. I'm sure everyone will have empathy in that moment when you bring it up.
I would hope so, and I have it for you, and I'm happy you took care of those things.
Yes,
and I'm sure
congrats.
You look fantastic, and I'm sure this is a weight lifted off of you mentally,
yes.
which is like such a wonderful thing, and I think it'll make you more comfortable for a lifetime.
And boob jobs rule, by the way.
Good for
you
those.
have big honking tits.
Right.
Everyone's going to love them, first and foremost.
I've been with women who have gotten boob jobs. I've been with women that have scarage of some, I don't even know if that's the right word.
Yeah.
It's never been a thought for me. I'm just happy to be in Boobtown, USA. Like
Men are just happy to be around a naked woman at the end of the day. And that's basement level.
When to bring it up, I've had people bring it up to me like if they were a little self-conscious, and I've always appreciated it and never really thought twice. It would be like as we're making out and like shirts are coming off, they've said, I just want to let you know, like my response was always like, I think you look great, and I'm sure you look wonderful. And if they don't come at you that way, I don't know another way for them to respond to that wouldn't involve you kicking them out.
Exactly. Know? So really, once again, it's a good test.
It's a good test. I mean, are there things that you've wanted to explain to guys before you hook up with them, or the insecurities? I mean, I think everyone has those.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm usually like, just go for it. And if they bring it up, then fine. If it makes you feel more comfortable, like you think they'll be hyper-focusing on it, then absolutely bring it up. You could bring it up in a empathetic way. You could bring it up in a joke way.
Right. I think bringing it up is like great because it gets for you, for the person
so
who's
it's out of
dealing
your
with
head.
it. Out of your head. Like you're going to feel more comfortable if you go, hey, just want to let you know I had like a little operation. Like just put it in the way that makes you feel best. And you're going to be immediately comfortable because I would hope that anyone I've been in that situation with, they go and I say, oh no, it's like, I'm sure you look amazing. Like I'm so happy to be here. And then they go, I hope that makes them feel better, that they go, oh, okay, it's a nothing.
Yeah.
To me, it's a nothing. The sensation on nipples, I mean, like that's a thing where you go, okay, I know not to concentrate there. Like I would hate to be like licking someone's nipple thinking I'm like, looking at an androgynous zone being like, yeah, I'm really nailing this. And they're like,
can't even feel, I don't even know you're in the room right now.
Right.
Yeah, I think I forgot about the nipple play. Absolutely. Then you should bring it up. I think you should just understand that no one is going to think twice about it. If they do, they're a bad person.
Right.
And, it sucks that you can't do nipple play, but the world is your oyster, honey.
Well, I think that might be a good way into it. If they're wondering, like, how do I say this? Again, I don't think it's at the table while you're having drinks. I think this is like in mid-make-out. In the moment, a little whisper in the ear, hey, I'm a little self-conscious. Saying I'm a little self-conscious is actually like a nice opener.
Yeah, it's a nice icebreaker.
You're being a little vulnerable. Hey, I just want to let you know I'm a little self-conscious. I had a double mastectomy. I mean, that might feel weird to say in the throes of things.
Yeah.
I had a little surgery. I don't have, you can even stay away from the mastectomy conversation. You go, hey, I'm a little self-conscious before, like we move forward. I had a little surgery and I don't have feeling in my nipples. I just want to like kind of let you know.
Yeah, so you don't waste your time.
Right.
You can make it fun.
Right.
There's a way of making this fun.
Right. Don't waste your time in Nipple Town. I want you on the vagina. I want you going hard. I want you down there 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Yeah, you can coach them up.
Commit. You should get a whistle. You should get a whistle and a visor. And you can also be like, hey, I got new tits. You want to see them?
You want to see these new boobs?
You want to see my new tits?
Brand new. Right off the shelf. Right.
Designer.
You could take a little pointer and go, you're not going to want to lick here. You're going to want to lick up here by the earlobe.
And here.
Weirdly, my knee.
Just keep Get a laser pointer.
Right. Here's where you're going to want to lick, sir. My toes. I'm into that shit. Yeah, that's right.
Let's talk feet.
You found a toe woman.
Mm-hmm. Finally, your fucking dream.
You did it. Yeah. So like you could make a fun thing about it. But I think like this all comes in the form of like direction, and men want more direction than maybe you would believe.
Yes. And talking, I think once you rip off the Band-Aid of talking in bed, like at first you're always like, oh, I don't know, it's scary, whatever. And then when you start to do it, you're like, whoa, this is awesome. I feel like a dominatrix.
Right. And then that's a fun, different, role play in itself.
Yes.
This is actually like going back to the woman with the guy who can't come, like even like her starting with like, I'm a little self-conscious to talk to you. Like that's now you're on that road where anything can be said. Like that's like a fun road in a sexual, because we should be a little self-conscious in the bedroom. I'm learning something new. I'm naked with someone I don't know as well. It's a little weird.
Yeah.
JTrain podcast at gmail.com. JTrain podcast at gmail.com. Shall we got time for one more? Let's do one more. You got time?
Of course.
Okay. I like this one. My buddy went to Burning Man and now he has 2 cell phones. So you're a festival person. That's how you met your ex.
Yeah.
You've been to Burning Man?
I've never been to Burning Man, but I do want to go. And I want to go, I always believe that the girl and the comic are fighting in my mind, where it's like, I want to go to both make fun of it and have the best time.
Right. I think you have the best time and then you're able to make fun of it.
Yes.
I think
but you can't be like, I'll never go to Burning Man. It's so whatever.
Yeah, I think it's like easy to be like anti-Burning Man.
I'm not anti anything.
It's an easy punchline. Yeah, Jared, an esteemed guest, feather. I don't know if this belongs in the lounge because it's it's not so much a luxury problem as a potentially friendship-ending meltdown.
Oh fuck.
A couple months ago, my buddy went to Burning Man. It wasn't his first trip, or burn, as they say. I roll. He always comes back with a new, totally unrealistic life goal that are totally ridiculous for life in the real world. This year, he informed me that having some forced away time from the dating apps was so refreshing that he has now gotten a second cell phone, which is not a smartphone, which he will be using during the hours of 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. local time. What is he, office hours?
Wait, 5 p.m. to 8, so through the night.
Right. He has directed me and all his friends to put his second cell phone number in their contact list and to only call him on that phone if we need him after hours. Yes, call. The phone is so rudimentary, it basically doesn't text and can't handle group chats. As someone who has been on the dating apps for years, I understand how important it is to get off of them from time to time, but really, he has so little self-control that he has to... I think I lost the other page. Oh, it's over here.
Here it is. No! There. The top one, I think.
No, it's not the top one.
I have so many things.
No, it isn't. Do we have it? I don't know. What did I do with it? Oh, here it is.
Okay.
That he has to inconvenience his entire friend group with an entirely new phone. I also live in a different time zone for him, so now apparently I have to calculate what time it is for him in order to know how to get a hold of him. What do you think? Can I even stay friends with him? I'm honestly starting to question it. Sincerely, not a burner phone. What do we think?
I think, first of all, I guess only text him during the day. Or you're just not going to hear from him for long gaps of time. That being said, I like the idea of him unplugging. I think that actually isn't a horrible thing he's doing. I'm not judging him for that. I'm like, hell yeah, get a flip phone.
Good for him. Don't make it my problem.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Yep.
And at this point, yeah, he is saying, I am doing this to better myself. And that might mean me losing friends. And you have to go, good for you, buddy. Thumbs up from the sideline. But I don't give a shit. I'm still going to text your other phone because I text. I'm still going to, and you'll get back to me when you get back to me. People make choices in life. And some choices are for them to go start a family. And you go, like starting a family.
Worse than getting a flip phone.
Exactly. That's a version of getting a flip phone and changing your life. My friends that start a family, I can text them when I can text them. They get back to me when they come back to me. But our relationship has changed. This is called growing up. You are turning into an adult. He is turning into an adult in a different way that he thinks will service him and make him better off. It won't work. They'll, probably. I know people with flip phones that have done this.
Yeah, and it's something I've considered heavily for myself. If there was navigation on a flip phone, I would get a fucking flip phone in a second.
But that's the thing. The people that move towards this flip phone world, you do separate from them in certain social aspects. And you go, hey, good for you. But I'm not going to make it my problem. Yeah,
and I guess it's something I picked up playing with off your table. I guess it's a conversation of like, well, do you care? Are you invested in this friendship? It seems like you're like, wow, this one little thing is making me pull back.
I could count on my hand how many people I need to call.
Exactly.
So if this person isn't on that hand,
who cares?
I'll see you when I see you.
Yeah. And you live in a different place. You're in a different...
I promise you, a year from now, if you text them at 7 p.m., hey, I'm out with some friends. I don't know if you're still using your phone, but let us know if you want to come.
He'll answer.
10 minutes later, he'll be like, yeah, I gave up on that shit.
Yeah.
And it's not your problem. But don't make your improvements my problem.
Yes.
Hey, everybody. I got 2 phones now, so if you want to get in touch with me, I'm available from 2 p.m. to 2:15 p.m. if you want to make plans with me. No, well, guess what? I don't want to make plans with you that bad.
Guess what? We won't be seeing each other. Right. And that's okay.
Good luck on your journey. Gabby Bryan, thank you for coming on.
Wow, I had so much fun. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're amazing. Everyone go follow Gabby. At Gabby is Bryan. La Podcast is the podcast. I'm Jared Freid. We're here every Monday. Keep sending your emails, jtrainpodcast@gmail.com. We'll be back next episode. Boom.